Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, let's talk about Drew and Carly for a minute, because when Drew comes over there, he ain't too happy. Okay? He is downright pissed off. Why? Because Carly didn't tell Drew about Jason. When she came over the house and everything like that, um, that whole time she didn't sit there and tell him. And when he came to the door, he was like, "Are you sure I can come in? Because, Jason may be here or whatever." So he talked for a little bit, and at first, it almost came across like he was being insecure, right? Jason's back or whatever, and everyone else is just second, right? And there's a point where Carly's like, "I love you." And he's like, "Yeah. And you love Jax, and you love Sonny, but our love doesn't compare to his love. You always put him first." And this is something I give Drew a lot of props for, because it feels like at this point he's just like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. And I've never understood, even when I actually really like Sonny, right? I never understood why he was okay with another man being that close to his wife. I never got that. I would never understand that. Yeah, I understood that, Sonny and Jason, they were pretty much like brothers and stuff like that, but I mean, that brotherly love only goes so far. Um, unless they're in some sort of throuple or whatever, it never made sense to me. And I think Drew, he sees the writing on the wall, and smart man is just like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. You can see part two that they're still simply talking about this. And I think the best thing for Jason, for Drew to do is be like, you know what, Jason's back. Um, we gotta wrap this up, because Carly has always put him first. You know, Carly is like, oh, he's, and, oh, that's where it came up. It came up because Drew's like, well, maybe do you think it's possible that Jason shot Dante? And she's like, no, I know he wouldn't do that. And he's like, well, maybe he would and maybe he wouldn't. We don't know. But you are already 100% certain about that. Now, to be fair, Sam is not there thinking that Jason could have shot Dante. And I'm just like, you've been with him for how long have you? There was a point where Sam was literally the definition of ride or die when it came towards Jason. And the fact that she even snipped there questioning that is just unbelievable. Even when Michael gets there and they're talking about the possibility, and I'm like, Michael, he raised you when you was a baby for I don't know how long, but he raised you. He literally went to jail for you. You're sitting there telling me that you think it's possible that, like, you're having doubts about him as far as Dante is concerned, but as far as Jason shooting Dante, I can't believe, like, even Sonny, the only person that seems like they're going on a leap of faith because of how long they've known him and how much that he's done for them. The only person that seems like, you know what, I know in my heart that he wouldn't do that is Carly, which makes sense. But everyone else, I'm just like, what? Now today, we did sit there and see Sam cry and stuff. But she was like tearing up and stuff when she was talking to Dante. But it's been very, very lackluster. It's been very lackluster. I mean, think about that. When she first saw him on the gurney and everything like that, she didn't seem like she was crying, she was in tears, she needed somebody to hold her or anything like that. She was just kind of like, I mean, she was in shock, but it was just like, really? Seemed very, I don't know, even today's episode, I mean, I guess it was somewhat fine, but I don't know. So Jason went to the Quartermaines, I don't really understand why the cops didn't sit there and check there. I mean, Anna had the bright idea to sit there and be like, hey, let's go to the bridge because most likely he's at the bridge. And he shows up at the bridge. And then he shows up at the Quartermain's place. I'm just like, is old age starting to get to you, Jason? Because you've never been this sloppy before. Now, I guess maybe we could sit there and be like, hey, as he was saying, he was dizzy and stuff like that, jumping in that water really doesn't have him thinking too clear. But I'm just like, damn, bro. And the fact that the cops aren't even there. This is like morning time. You think they would have been there with search warrants. Yeah. So anyway, Danny's there, and he sees Jason. And there's one point he's just about to like just turn around, just walk off, and I'm just like, what? Now, hopefully we get to sit there and understand. We get to sit there and hear what Danny thinks about Jason being back, how he feels about him. Because let's be honest, he's for the viewers. We've always seen Jason put everybody else first. We've seen him put Carly's kids first, Sonny's kids first, everyone first except for his own kids, right? So obviously, there's going to be a certain level of tension and resentment, right? And maybe that's what that was when he just kind of walked away. But eventually, he did come back. Jason called him, asked him for help and stuff, and saying that he didn't shoot Dante and swears on his life. So he goes and he gets the medical kit. And he was going to sit there and call the cops, but I guess he decided not to. Now, Jason does tell Danny to keep it between, don't tell anyone, don't tell Sam or anything like that, because he doesn't obviously want him to be, her to be an accomplice or anything. And Sam, there's one point. It's where it's just like it's so damn difficult to tell. Is it just like the direction of the character, or just the actress herself? Because there's a point she's like, yeah, just I'm all over the place and I have like thoughts and I just have different thoughts. I'm just like, okay, I mean that's great. I mean your brain is working, you have thoughts. I mean we all have thoughts, but I don't. You know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna sit there and blame. I'm not gonna blame Kelly because I guess maybe part of me is just looking for a little bit more like something. Like her actually being like, oh, he's alive, and I feel like this, and I feel like that, and it's just like I feel like, and it's just very monotone. I think that's where it's just bothering me. Okay, so Heather um is in the hospital and she has to see Finn and Amy's there, and she's giving Amy a hard time, and now I think about it, just on a side note, and I know I'm kind of just drifting off a little bit, but maybe there was a point that Amy actually had a story, and the only reason why they actually gave her a story was because Kristen Storms um, left abruptly for personal reasons. Then they never gave her a story again. Just want to remind people of that. Um, anyway, Heather apparently has some sort of thing going on with her heart. One of her muscles in her heart is weak, and Heather wants an update on Ace. Laura comes in, and Laura pretty much tells Heather that because she just keeps getting in and out of Penville like there's no tomorrow. She's like, you know what? Listen, I'm sending you upstate, federal women's prison. That's where you're going. You're going to be far, 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 far away. What I didn't know was that they were friends at one point. I had no idea. Lovely. I had no idea that Heather and Laura were friends back in the day. But Heather flips out when Laura tells her that she's adopting Ace, um, because of Kevin and Ryan and everything like that, and being around Sarah. So she flips out. Um, she flips out for a hot minute, And she's all upset, you know, because she feels like Ace is going to lose her last connection to her mother in a, to his mother in a sense, since, they just assume that, Esme is dead. It's like they assume that Spencer's dead, and they assume that Jason's dead. Well, Jason did actually have a whole cave collapsing on him, so they assumed that Sonny was dead too, so, whatever. Um, so, Blaze comes to sit there and see Christina and tells her that, she can't really, she probably can't really stay because she's going to be having breakfast with her mom. To sit there and try to talk more about, her coming out and her accepting her and stuff like that. And Christina's like, do you want me to come with you? And I'm just like, why would you? Because even Blaze is like, yo, listen, she treated you awfully. Like, she treated you awful. Why would you want to sit there and subject yourself to that again? On top of the fact that's going to bring probably a hell of a lot of stress, which is not good for you and it's not good for the baby. So it's like, why would you even put yourself in that situation? What I don't understand is because she has so much going on, she has the center that's going to be going on, she's still running Charlie's, and she's having this whole stressful thing with Blaze and her mother. It's like, this is not a good time for you to be dating right now, bro. Like, this is a terrible time, even under the best of circumstances. But you're sitting there dealing with her mother that is being just awful to you. So she leaves, and Molly comes in, and she talks to her for a little bit. Meanwhile, Blaze goes to see her mother, and long story short, her mother's like, sorry for the way I was acting. I understand that, you're seeing her. I know what's going on. And she makes her think like, okay, cool. She's finally understanding me. She's finally accepting me for me being gay. And she's like, yeah, I get it. You just want to sit and experiment with girls because of Link and everything. Like this is still just a phase. So at this point, Blaze is like, yeah, you know what? Listen, we just went right back to square one. I'm not hungry anymore. Peace out. And she just walks off. Not gonna lie. I mean, Blaze's mom definitely does come across as a POS, but I mean, that actor still got it going on. That actor still got it going on. Listen, if you're old school like me, and you used to watch, if you sit there and watch a show called CS Miami, that was that chick back in the day, and she's still that chick. That woman is still that chick. Point blank. Period. Um, yeah, there really wasn't much to the conversation with Christina and Molly that I can think of. Oh yeah, I did mention Michael was in the episode. Kind of late, like literally like 30 minutes into the episode he came in. But again, I still can't believe even he's not there thinking there's a possibility that Jason shot Dante. Like, the same dude that went to jail for you, you think that he would sit there and, I don't know. I don't get it. I feel like that's about it. But I also feel like there's definitely more to talk about this. I mean, just about this episode, this whole story, all of it. So, come to the live stream tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, Born and Beautiful, Young and Restless, which I actually really enjoy Young and Restless. I gotta sit there and say, if you are Young and Restless fans, never doubt the power of the great Victor Newman. And that is all I'm gonna say about that until tonight. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video.